So, it's been more than a hot minute. I know I had promised, because I did a video shortly before my birthday, that I would be back shortly and I would talk about goals and all of that jazz. And the best laid plans of mice and men. Life got a little crazy. I mean, I work with the public. What do you expect? Um, but yeah, so I am back. Did get some blue. Obviously, I know the lighting is a little off, um, but I did get some blue done. First time that I have not been just completely blown away with my hairstylist. Um, but yeah, we'll revisit it. It's no big deal. Um, I let her talk me into not cutting my hair because we had already bleached it the year prior and I should have gone with my gut. So I'll be going back in a few months and cutting probably 6 inches at least off and redoing the blue, um, because that's what makes me happy. So, goals. And of course, with it being close to the end of the year, that's on everybody's mind. So I don't do New Year's resolutions. Just, yeah, they don't work. Um, and it's too easy to completely ignore them and forget about them and not do anything whatsoever. So instead, I do birthday goals. And I came across this idea in one of the journaling magazines I used to get, which sadly is no longer being published, which breaks my heart because it was actually really cool. But in it, there was a lady who, for her, I want to say when she turned 65, for her 65th birthday, she made 65 goals and then made this beautiful journal uh, documenting how she accomplished every single one of them before her, 66th birthday. And that is amazing, in my opinion. So I do the same thing, one birthday or one goal per year that I'm turning. So this year I turned 43. It means 43 goals. Um, do I accomplish every single one of them? Absolutely not. Do I accomplish 50% of them? Absolutely not. And I've realized that for me, it's the dream, it's the making the goal and the possibility that is what hooks me in. And I used to really beat up on myself when I wasn't actually accomplishing these things. But my flavor of neurodiversity is um, a bit more self destructive and can be wildly unpredictable at times. And so these are things that I don't always have completely under control. And so why should I beat myself up for not adhering to these goals when, I go way off the rails and life completely changes? So instead, for me, I have come to realize that goals are what keeps me going, the dream of accomplishing those things. Um, I don't really, I mean, it's nice when I do accomplish them because they are things that I really want to do. But if it takes me 5 years to do something, that's fine. I don't need a time limit on it. Preferably before I die, because yeah, there's not much uh, purpose behind it if I'm not even here to do it. But my my flavor of neurodiversity makes it has the really strong impulse to self-destruct. Um, and before I was realizing what goals play a part of, um, gave myself 3 things that I could not consider unsubscribing from life until these 3 goals were met. First one was I had to be completely debt free. I'm getting there. Still got a good ways to go. Again, that neurodiversity, unchecked, unmedicated, with credit cards in my 20s. I'm still paying for that. But yeah, I had to be completely debt free. The house had to be completely paid off. And those two were mostly because I don't want my husband to have any financial issues should I terminate. Which, just to specify, I'm fine, I'm good. This is not something that I'm contemplating at all. And then the third one was to go see my polar bears, to take my polar bear trip. That has been a massive dream of mine since my 20s. And of course, I don't want to half-ass this goal because this goal is fabulous. But the trip I want to take, I would go up to Churchill, Manitoba, which is the polar bear capital of the world. In October and November is when all the polar bears kind of congregate there. And then once the Hudson Bay freezes over, that's when they disperse into the Arctic Circle. It is called the polar bear capital of the world because you can go there and see hundreds of wild polar bears. But yeah, so the trip I want to do, 7 days out on the tundra and these special tundra rovers so that, they're high enough up that you don't have to worry about getting stuck, yada, yada, yada. They're high enough up that you don't have to worry about the polar bear getting you and eating you, which is always a plus. But yeah, 7 days, food, lodging, all of that's taken care of. Flight from Selkirk, Manitoba up to Churchill, covered. And then you can add on little things, which I wouldn't mind going, dog sledding, seeing the Northern Lights while I'm up there, going and seeing the belugas and hopefully narwhals as they come through. But yeah, that type of a trip is got a pretty hefty price tag on it at $10,000 to $15,000, depending on how fancy I want to get. So yeah, I don't really have that kind of play money right now. I'm getting close, but I'm having to be intelligent with my money right now, which sucks. But so until I accomplish those three things, I will not allow myself to realistically consider that. And I've now realized that making goals helps pull me out of those downward spirals. So if I start feeling really down, it's easy to go and be like, oh, you've got so much to live for. Oh, you've got so many great things ahead of you. Okay, that sounds nice, but like, what do I really have? They're like, oh, I want to go and do a professional photo shoot where it's me and Leviathan, my snake. She turned 18 this past September, so she's starting to get up there in the ages. And so at this point, every year with her is icing on the cake. She's fabulous, and I absolutely adore her. So, setting something up like that, that's something I can realistically look forward to. Some of the other goals, not so much fun, like getting all my teeth things done, because I don't really like the dentist. But yeah, it needs to get done. So some of it's big goals, and some of it's like, hey, let's just go to the botanical gardens here, because it's been years since I've been there. Or, hey, let's go to my favorite zoo 4 times. Nothing big and major and stellar, but just things kind of to look forward to. And I don't know if it's age or just, I don't know. I just see so many people stressing out about productivity and increasing your productivity and how to be more productive in 2025 and how to use your bullet journal to be more productive and how to manage your whatever flavor of neurodiversity they're talking about at the moment. how to manage that and be more productive, and how you can always give 150% every single day. And I don't, that's not, I'm not interested in that. And I don't know if it's my age, or if it's, my neurodiversity, or, the state of the world as it is right now. But being super productive does not appeal to me. Like, I don't get the joy from that. And so instead, I'm pulling back on a lot of that. Um, like, I've got my goals. I've also set up, because again, goals give me dopamine. So making goals gives me dopamine. I really enjoy it. So I have 43 goals to be accomplished in my 43rd year. I also do the 101 goals in 1,001 days, um, which I usually rewrite every year instead of every 1,001 days. Because again, that is what makes me happy. Um, so I'm kind of cutting back on things. And so I don't have like 8 planners and 19 journals and this and that and the other. I really don't have that. I do have my bullet journal, and that's just to keep me on track in the outer world. So that I can continue doing my job as good as I do. Um, and then I'll have a daily journal. I did get a beautiful 10-year journal. I'm super excited to start that one come January 1st. Uh, Mostly just because it's like a big goal, because that's to complete it. And so to have 10 years right there in one book uh, is fascinating to me. And then to help keep me on that, and then also to bring more of my witchcraft back into my actual life, I have a day planner. And so it's got one page for every day. See, like, here's for National Polar Bear Day, which is February 27th. So it's got a page per day. And so I can just kind of go in and make note, if I learned something specific on that day, or if I'm like, oh, hey, XYZ day is sacred to Sekhmet, and one of the ways you can celebrate is, A, B, and C. I can make note of it in here. And so this is basically going to be like a witch's almanac for 2025 that I'm writing. And then I can pull from this and add it into my actual grimoire. But yeah, I think that's about it. So we talked goals, hair, age, and then, yeah, still doing the fountain pens. I have learned that I prefer the bespoke ones, so the ones that are made in very, very small quantities. I tend to like those more and I like the flashy ones, which is insane because I really don't do flashy shit. But I don't know. I would rather have one of those than one of the crazy expensive, like, oh, I'm trying to think of one, like I think it was Visconti that made one for the Year of the Dragon, and it's gold and it's red and it's beautiful and it's $10,000, and that's absurd. Like, even if someone were to walk in and give it to me, that's absurd. I would turn around and sell it, because I can spend that money in so many. Ooh, dude, that would fund my polar bear trip, most of it. Um, there's so many other things that I would do with that kind of money, and so dialing in and figuring out what kind of pens I specifically like has been really interesting. I just finished up early um, the Diamine Ink Vent calendar and the Colorverse color vent calendar that they did. This is the first year for Colorverse. So let's see, Diamine gave me 25 different inks, and Colorverse gave me 24. So I'm kind of set on inks for quite some time. So I really don't foresee a whole lot of knee-jerk purchases, like just being like, I see it, 3 seconds later I buy it. I'm hoping to be a lot more mindful with my purchases and starting to kind of cull some of the things that I know I'm not going to use, like one of the pens. It's a really good pen, beautiful pen. It was a Jinhao X750. Beautiful pen, writes beautiful. I don't reach for it. I haven't used it in months, and so I ended up giving that to my coworker, who I slowly converted into liking fountain pens. And he's only been using ones that he purchased from Temu. Nothing against those pens. They're pretty fucking awesome. Especially if you're just getting into it. Dude, don't go spend, $400 or $50 even. Go to Temu. They've got awesome pens for like $5. Get one of those and see if this is something you like. But yeah, so I think his most expensive one he has was maybe 10. And so I was just like, hey, I'm going to be getting rid of this, Jen. How are you even interested? And I didn't even get to finish the sentence before he was like, yes, please. Yes, yes. So yeah, getting rid of that, getting rid of some of the Archer and Olive journals that I got in subscription boxes that I know I'll never use. I don't like blackout paper. I don't like dark paper. And so I need, the ones with the white is the only one I'll use. So any of the others I can get rid of. I don't do soft cover notebooks. I really don't. So any of those I can get rid of. And so I'm selling some of those things off so that I can have fun money for other stuff. And it doesn't really cost me anything because it's money I made, right? Is that how the girl math works? But yeah, so I think I've rambled more than enough. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, anything of the sort, feel free to leave them below. If you have any specific birthday traditions, I would love to hear about them. I think the next video I do will probably be New Year's traditions that I follow and I make my husband follow. Because, yeah. But yeah, I think that's all I've got going right now. January, the full moon is the full wolf moon, which is a very special full moon for me. And there's a lot of things, there's a lot of wolf items that I have that get blessed and cleansed and rededicated and all of that. Then February has the polar bear day, kind of when I reaffirm goals and dreams and, saving up my money specifically for the polar bear trip. But yeah, so we'll go from there. So yeah, until the next time, stay safe, but have fun. Enjoy it. Have a great night.